welcome back to Same Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. So today we'll be making this gown on the thumbnail. So the gown you are seeing right there on the thumbnail, you need to draft your full basic bodice gown for it. And for this full basic bodice gown, I have my shoulder line, my chest line, my bust point, my under bust point. This is the line. My waistline, I need my hip line, I need my knee line, and finally I need the full length of this dress. So I will just stop at the knee line because the full length of the dress, you can make anything for it, but the purpose of this tutorial is focusing on what is happening on the upper piece of this dress. So the pattern I have here, I'm drafting the front pattern, and this is my center front line. Okay, the line we have here is the center front line. So to begin this tutorial without wasting time, I'm going to divide my shoulder seam line by 2, so I'll be able to get that point. So I divide my shoulder seam and I'll connect it to my bust point. This is my bust point and this is my dart leg. Okay, so I'm working on a small scale drafting. So usually from this point I go in by 0.5, and from the dart leg I go out by another 0.75. So that will give me my full dart leg. Then I'll be having my bust dart right here. So I'm working on a small scale drafting, so I might not really have a full scale or a full measurement for this. So what I have here is my dart leg. Okay, so you'll be using your own full measurement to derive this. So the first thing I will do before I begin to contour anything is, this is my hip line. I'll come down by 3 inches. So from here to here, 3 inches. And I'll come in with my pattern ruler to create that lace design. So this lace design, I'm going to trace it out and set it aside. So I'll connect it to the dart leg, as you can see, and it goes all the way following this line. So that is what I'm going to trace right away. So I'll come in with my pattern ruler and I'm going to my pattern paper, and I'll trace what I have. So here I'm actually seeing what I'm about to trace. So this is the lace fabric we are going to use to create this design. So as I'm tracing, I'm not tracing the bust dart. Remember, this is going to be placed on a plain pattern. So I'm looking at what I have on my line. So I'll just keep tracing this way, and I'll come down this way. Okay, so that is the lace part of this dress. So the lace part of this dress now, I've traced it out, and I'm going to cut it accordingly. I'll cut it accordingly. Alright, so I've traced out this pattern. That is where we are going to have our lace. The lace is going to sit. So this pattern we traced out, we are cutting 2 times of it, as you can see, one for right and one for left. as it is right there on the thumbnail. So I want to jump into the business of this tutorial, which is the bustier part of this. So we don't need the skirt piece again. Okay, we are now the skirt piece, you can detach it now and set it aside for the sewing of the down part. So we'll be facing what we have on the front piece of this. So I'm going to contour my under bust. This is my under bust. I'll place my tape on the center front as usual. I'll take my under bust measurement, divide by 4. I'll mark what I have left. I'm going to impute on this side 0.25 and on this side the rest of it, as we usually do. So I'll just place my pattern ruler. Like I said, I'm working on a small scale. So I'll place my pattern ruler here. I'll also place it right here. And finally, I'll bring the contour line right here and come in right here. Okay, so that is all. What we have on this pattern is going to be a shoulder dart, so we'll be able to have everything we need for this particular dress. So I'll just go ahead, cut, detach. What I'm detaching is the skirt piece. This is my skirt piece, and this is the center front of the skirt. So we are working only on the front pattern. The back is not a problem. Just go ahead and fuse your back. So I'll set the skirt piece aside. I'll come here. I'll go this way on the bust accommodation. Go into the armhole. That is where we are going to have the sleeve. I'll cut on the shoulder seam line. I'm leaving or cutting the neckline on the natural neckline because we have a turtle neckline. So we are working with upper or high neckline. So this is what my pattern looks like. So I'll just go ahead now and follow my contour line. Okay, this is the red line is my contour line. I'm sewing this as a, you can see I'm sewing it as a shoulder dart. So this is what my pattern looks like, and this is what we are going to fuse at the end of the day. Remember, we are supposed to have a dart right here. So, but at this point of the dart, you can close up your dart. So if this is your dart, for example, if we have our darts here, and this is our dart leg for the skirt, taking this way. So all you need to do is to close it up. So by the time you close it up, you cut on your fabric and your skirt matches up. You can see it matches up now. So this one comes in after sewing your bustier. You sew this after sewing your bustier together. You sew your skirt piece. That is the pattern of sewing this. Okay, so after sewing your bustier, you sew this. After sewing this, you sew, or this might even come after you have finished sewing the ruffle. So I will advise you sew the center front ruffle first and the side ruffle, because if you look at what we have on the thumbnail right there, if you look closely, you can see we have a ruffle in front. So this ruffle you have in front is by your choice, but if you want to go by what we have, you can go by 4 inches. Okay, so 4 inches should be the width of the ruffle on the center front. So this is my ruffle for the center front. The length of the ruffle is going to be the measurement you have from the neckline to the waistline. Okay, so here I'm working with 6.5 because it's a small scale drafting. So this 6.5, I'm going to times 6.5 by 3. If I times it, I'll have enough to ruffle. Okay, that means I'll be having about 20 inches here on the small scale. So I'll just pretend my 4 inches width is what I have here. I'm just pretending to show you Okay, but when you are working on it, make sure you take the measurement times by 3. The width should be 4 inches. So this part is on fold. This part is on fold. So as this part is on fold, you are going to turn with lining, and you start to make your kissing pleat for your ruffle. So this is how to go about the kissing pleats for the ruffle. So make sure you kiss pleat, you kiss pleat. You can see how I'm doing that. So if you are doing the pleats, make sure you do that evenly. Okay, so but I believe you understand what I'm doing here. You keep kiss pleating like that, as you can see right there on the thumbnail. Then you go to your machine and run a center thread. Bring it to your dress at the center and do what? Run a center thread also that stops at your waistline. Then we also have another ruffle. That is the ruffle that runs from the waistline. Okay, that one is only gathers. So you can just make the measurement of what you have from here on one side, you know, to the neckline, times by 2, then multiply by 3 to have the ruffle. Okay, times by 2 is for the other side because we are working on one side now. So times by 2, whatever you have here, multiply by 2 to cover the both sides to the center neckline, and times by 3 to make your gathers. So once you have done your gathers, this is your gathers as I'm making right here. Okay, so once you are done making it, just go ahead and stitch the gathers. You can see that following this while you have the center ruffle. And finally, you fuse your skirt. After you have done all these ruffles, you sew your skirt and then you place what you have here. Can you see that? So that is how to go about this dress, and I believe you learned from this illustration. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class. Bye.